now we're doing a little main course. We're using again the chicken leg. So actually I used the meat from the chicken quarters, just made them boneless and cut it in small cubes. We'll just season this with salt, pepper, and I will put a little bit of herbs just to get a bit of flavor. Thank you, Diane. Okay, so my oil is hot. Okay, so what I do, we cook the chicken first. When the chicken is cooked or almost done, we will remove it from the pan, and then we will start to do the sauce. So we'll start. I have chopped red onions, garlic, mushrooms, button mushrooms, a little bit of wild mushrooms, fresh asparagus. So you see, I don't cook the asparagus before. I just cut it raw, fresh, because it will cook in the sauce there, because I don't want it overcooked. I want the asparagus still to have a little bit of a bite when the dish is done. So I can start the sauce here. So I don't want my pot for this when I start the sauce too hot. Like for the chicken, I want the pan really nice and hot, because I want the chicken a little bit colored. But for the sauce, because I start the sauce off with a little bit of butter, I don't want the butter to burn. So butter, onions, put a little bit more onions because I didn't make a stock before, so I had to get my flavor in the sauce through the ingredients what I put in there. So that's pretty important that I do that separate, because if I would cook all together, then either my onions would burn or my chicken would cook too slow and then it gets dry, because I want to make sure that it's had enough heat that it doesn't get dry. Okay, so the onions have been a little bit half cooked, so now I will add my mushrooms. White mushrooms. Still waiting with asparagus because I want the asparagus to have a bit of bite. Anyone who is looking after calories should not watch me now. But I love to cook with butter. Because it gives the end of the day, it gives us a lot of flavor. Now I put my fresh asparagus. I'm not seasoning it completely, but I start to put a little bit salt and pepper now during the cooking process. But obvious, when it's done, then I have to fry it again. Just put a little bit of water. I can use chicken stock, vegetable stock, or if I prefer to cook with grape juice, I put cream, and I just reduce it until I get the right thickness what I like. Then you can serve that dish either with rice or with potatoes or with pasta. Basically any kind of starch will go with it. Pretty simple, fast as a dish, what can be done at home in 15-20 minutes when you have your items prepared. As I said at the beginning, I've always liked to prefer to use chicken legs, prefer to breast, because the breast meat is getting dry. Now I prepared a bit of tomato concasse, just fresh tomatoes, cooked with onions and fresh basilikum. Now I put my chicken meat in. A little bit more cream. And pepper. Then right at the end, I add a little bit of fresh chopped chervil. I'll reduce the temperature because it had reduced enough. I don't want the sauce too thick. Always have to make sure we taste. Our dish is what we do. Also, if we think we know how to do it, we should taste every dish before we serve it. With the chicken meat, when I marinated the chicken meat, I put rosemary, so I cooked the chicken with rosemary, but I put at the end in the sauce, I put a little bit of fresh chervil. So what you could do parsley, or like with this kind of sauce, fresh chives would work very well. As I always say, recipes which you take from recipe books should be an inspiration to start your cooking, but then you should adjust it to your own taste, to the way you like it. There is no, when you cook a sauce like this, there is no right and wrong as long as it tastes good.